Hi, I'm Blake Repine, and welcome to Strategy, Leadership, and Impact. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Strategy, Leadership, and Impact. The topic for this week, I've actually mentioned it in last week's episode, where I did an interview with Katie and Ben from 360 View, and at the beginning in the intro that I actually mentioned 3 key ingredients that you need to have in order to make your business successful, or to have a successful business, or to grow your business. Really, it's kind of a launch pad thing, and 3 key things that you need to have. And really, I won't waste your time with getting to those 3 key ingredients. I'll get right to them here in just a second. But before we do, if you're enjoying the podcast, make sure you give us a like, make sure you give us a review, share it with your friends, share it with your colleagues. The more people that listen, the more we're able to share the knowledge that we are all sharing. So without further ado, those 3 key ingredients that we'll talk about today. The first key ingredient is identify a need. Before you start any business or any kind of endeavor, you need to understand what need are you trying to meet? What problem are you trying to solve? Or what are you trying to help people accomplish or do? This doesn't mean you have to be a not-for-profit. It doesn't mean you have to be a charity. There's a lot of businesses out there that help meet a need. A grocery store, it's helping bring food to the people. A lot of retail stores, they're giving you the opportunity to shop for something that you might not otherwise be able to have access to. The mobile phone companies, they're allowing you to be able to contact each other. But look at what is the need that you're trying to solve in your community, in a certain industry, or whatever it is. And once you've identified that need, the next thing you need to have, so key ingredient number 2, is you need to have passion for what you're doing. Don't go into something or start a business just because you want to make a quick dollar. Of course, there's a lot of people that do that, and you can do that, and you'll make some very quick gains initially, but in the long term, it probably isn't sustainable. One, if your heart's not really in it and you're really not committed to it, and when things do get tough or you have downturns or whatever problems you might come up against, more than likely you're going to jump ship and you're going to go on to something else. So having that passion, it helps maintain momentum, but also too, whenever you have passion, you really care about what you're doing, it's infectious. Other people can feel that. Your customers, your clientele, whoever they might be, they can feel that as well. And your team, as your organization grows and more people are added to your team, they can feel that and they get excited about it and they have passion for it too. So key ingredient number 1, identify the need. Key ingredient number 2, have passion for that need. And then key ingredient number 3 is having the right mix of skills and personalities around you or with you along that journey. One person that, particularly when you're small business, one person, if they're very toxic, they can kill your dream. So one, you don't need the toxic people around you, but also don't surround yourself with head nodders. And I learned today that nodders isn't an actual word, but head nod is. The people that just shake their head north and south, saying yes, they agree with everything you do, and they're not going to pull you up when they feel like you're going down the right track. You do need people around you, 1 person, 2 people, whatever, that are going to be the voice of reason, that are going to play devil's advocate, that are going to try to get you to look at things from a different perspective because you are so excited about your idea, or you have so much passion for it. Sometimes you can get lost in that and you can really lose your focus toward what you're trying to achieve, or not really what you're trying to achieve. Let me back that up. You can lose focus on some pitfalls or some dangers as you're moving towards your objective or towards your goal, as you're creating that business or trying to grow that business. And sometimes you have that person that's the voice of reason or the devil's advocate. They can get you to look at it from a different perspective. And in that aspect, it is a very positive thing to do that. It can help you avoid failures. It can help you to avoid certain roadblocks or get around challenges and stuff that you might come across. So you need to build a team that allows, and you need to allow within that team constructive disagreement. As long as that, it's okay that people disagree. It's okay that people have differing opinions. It's okay that people have different perspectives, and you need to recognize that and allow that. If they're too far apart, or the way people, express that disagreement or express their own opinion can be detrimental to the team. You need to build a team that people are able to express that in a very productive and professional manner where it doesn't put people offside. And you don't need people on your team too that are going to hold grudges whenever they bring up a different perspective and it gets shot down and they feel like they've been slighted, or they take it personally and they get very upset about it. And again, people will take things personally, particularly in a small business. The smaller it is, go back a few episodes, the podcast where I talked about starting and growing a business is just like having and raising a child. And it's no different. You have a lot of the same emotions. And sometimes you might say, well, it's very difficult to love something that's not actually a person that much. But you can. It is very much a piece of you. You identify with that business or that idea. And so that's kind of how you approach it too. It's no different. So just sum up. So these 3 key things that you need. 1, identify the need in your community or your industry or whatever it is. Number 2, have passion for what you're doing, which is going to solve that need. And then number 3, have the right mix of skills and personalities around you to where you're getting good, solid advice in order to meet that need. Now, I do recognize that there's so many things that you can put within these 3 things, these 3 ingredients that you need to think about. But really, if you just keep it simple, just keep it to 3 things. And if you stay on track with these 3 things, you will be successful. And I'll give you an example. I've read a number of case studies, and the majority of them were published by the Harvard Business Review, into mergers and acquisitions. And whenever these are quite large companies, most of them, probably 500 million a year to several $1 billion a year in turnover. But whenever they merge 2 organizations together, and the parent organization, or the one that was actually the dominant organization, I guess the easy way to think about it, in the merger, whenever they took over the other company, they tried to change the mission of that organization to match their own. And every time they did that, the merger failed. It was very unsuccessful. And the reason why was because whenever they changed the mission of the other organization, they weren't being true to themselves. They weren't still able to operate in the same manner. They weren't able to achieve whatever it was they initially set out to achieve. But the mergers and acquisitions that were the most successful were the ones where they actually continued to support the mission of that other organization, but improve how they delivered on that mission. Bringing that back to a small business, same thing. You've identified the need, and how you address that need. That is what makes your business your business. That's what's going to make you successful. And sometimes trying to change that too much will cause you to fail. Now, just Google mergers and acquisitions or failures in mergers and acquisitions and actually really read what causes them to fail. A lot of times it's because they try to change the mission of that organization that's being taken over. And, I mentioned around the passion, if you don't really care about what you're doing, or your heart's not really in it, you're not going to be able to do it for a long time. You're not going to want to do it for a long time. If that's your thing, that's your thing. And just know, the more you care about what you're doing, the more likely you are to be successful at it. Also, the longer you are to stick with it. And personalities, again, the same thing. I talk about a lot in your personal life and your business life too. Who you surround yourself with, your top 5 people you surround yourself with is probably who you are. You're probably the average of those top 5 people. So if you surround yourself with successful people, people with positive mindset, more likely you're going to be a successful person. You're going to be someone with a positive mindset. So anyway, I kind of can really, veer off onto go down certain rabbit holes with some of these subjects, or sometimes too, I can get on a bit of a soapbox about certain things, just because I care about them, or I have very strong beliefs or very strong feelings about certain things, and a lot of those have been developed over years of experience. So if you've enjoyed this, again, let me know. Give me a review, give me a like. Also, too, if you want to give me your own feedback on the subject, or if there's another subject you'd like for me to talk about, feel free to contact me. You can email me at blakerepine@gmail.com. Also, too, connect with me on LinkedIn. Just search my name, Blake Repine, or on Instagram or Facebook. Just search Blake Repine or Blake Repine Official. Connect with me through there. Send me a DM, whatever it is, however you can get a hold of me. Be more than happy to talk to you, share more information with you, and learn from you as well. Take care. Talk to you again soon.